Can I do this? Can I really do this at 50? Hey everyone, welcome back to Day One Voiceover. This channel is going to be a look into what it's like to start a new career from scratch, or from day one. Voiceover in particular. As you may know from my last video, I was laid off about a year ago, and I've had a really hard time finding a new job. So I've decided to jump into something that's been in the back of my mind for a long time, which is voiceover work. The thing is, I've decided to do this at the age of 50. Now, I may not look 50, and that's great. I love that. But by the time this career starts getting any kind of traction, I'll be well into my 50th year. And that is a really scary thought. Not just because of the age and the dwindling energy levels, but because of what's involved now that might not have been involved 15, 20 years ago. I have a great family. I have a 4-year-old daughter that's the absolute light of my life, but she does require some additional attention sometimes. And so the challenge is going to be what it's like to balance that. How do I manage to take care of her and give her the attention she needs, while also devoting all the additional time that's necessary into starting something new like this? There's a lot of training, there's a lot of practice, there's a lot of trial and error involved, and a lot of stress as well. The thought of being able to support my family the way I've always been able to, that's also in the back of my mind. How long will it take before I can build myself back up to where I'm at a comfortable place providing for my family the way I always have? So as I've been looking out there for some general advice on what it's like to start a new career, I came across some cool stuff on how to start a career at the age of 30. That's great. What it's like to start a career at the age of 40. Cool. Not as much information out there, but still cool. But then when I tried to look for information on starting a new career at the age of 50, there wasn't a lot out there. But thankfully, what was out there was incredibly helpful. And it's really based around making sure you have the right support system around you, making sure you're making the right decisions for the right reasons, not just jumping into something because it feels right. And that's a place where I find myself incredibly grateful, is the support system. I am absolutely beyond blessed to have my fiance, Jessica, 100% on my side. We've had all the difficult conversations about what implications this might have financially, on our resources, what changes we're going to have to make, what flexibility we're going to have in order for this to happen. But she's there with me. She understands what it is I'm trying to do. She understands the reasons for it as well. One of the things I didn't mention in my last video is that while the job market has kind of pushed me into this, it's also very possible that this was life just forcing it on me as well. I had a great conversation with one of my best friends, George, who also has a great YouTube channel called The Good Life with Professor G. You should go check it out. I'll have the link down below. He's a therapist, and when I was venting to him about the position that I was in, that I've applied for hundreds of jobs without a single interview, and struggling so much to find my way back, he reminded me of the stress levels that I used to have in the jobs that I used to work. There were times where I would have daily headaches, Monday through Friday, and they would mysteriously disappear on Saturday and Sunday. And then those headaches turned into a semi-permanent thing. I had an incident where I had a headache that lasted 3 straight weeks, and it worried me so much that I ended up going to the ER to get a CAT scan on my head, just in case. And I can't remember a time in my life where I've been that scared. And so my friend reminded me, why are you trying so hard to go back to that level of stress? If you have something else you've wanted to do, now's the perfect opportunity to do it. So that's why I'm here. That's yet another reason to add to the list as to why I decided to do this. So thanks for that advice, George. And for anyone out there that might be in the position where they're considering a career change, for whatever reason, maybe it's just to pursue a passion, maybe it's just that you're bored of what you're doing, or maybe you're in my position where you find yourself needing work, needing to do something new, then maybe you don't realize that you have the support system around you that you need. Maybe things are going well right now. Maybe you're coasting through just fine. Maybe your job's treating you well. and you have absolutely no idea that you have these people to rely on if you need to. Now, one of the cool things about getting into voiceover work at my age is that maybe my voice now lends itself to some pretty cool things that might not have been able to 15, 20 years ago.
In a world where an old dog tries to learn a new trick.
Something like that. I know for a fact there are voices that I can't do now that I used to be able to when I was younger, maybe more high-pitched type stuff, cartoony type things that I can't do anymore. But maybe I'm now in a position where I'm jumping in at the right time because my voice lends itself to some stuff that are probably a little more up my alley than they would have been 15, 20 years from now. At least that's what I'm telling myself. But along those lines as well, I've also learned as I've been practicing through this and picking up as much information as I can, that this is something that you have to let the market take you where it tells you to go. Just because I think in my own head that my voice is perfect for whatever genre, it might actually be more suited towards something else. And in some of my practicing, I've already realized that. In future videos, I'll show you some of the practice reels that I've done, and you can see how bad some of those takes are, but you'll also be able to see how they improve over time as well. So I'm just going to ride this out. I'm going to keep practicing, I'm going to keep recording, and I'm going to keep putting it out there and sharing it with as many professionals as I can to see what information I can get, what advice I can get, and what guidance I can get to take me to where I need to be successful. But going back to the fear that I was talking about earlier, as I've started going through this, that initial fear that I had has started to dwindle pretty fast, mainly because that support system that I mentioned that I've had for my friends and family has actually extended way beyond to places that I never imagined. The first video that I shared drew the attention of people in the UK, other content creators, people in Australia, I believe. I think I know who you are. My apologies if you're watching this and I got the country wrong. But it's been absolutely mind-blowing to see the people coming out and thinking something enough of my story and my channel to want to provide support. And believe me, I'm going to bug you guys going forward. I'm just going to try not to do it too much and wear it out. But thank you so much for reaching out. And it just goes to show you that you just have to put yourself out there. You just have to set things in motion. Just yesterday, I was having coffee with a friend of a friend who I happened to meet just casually. And we were having coffee to discuss the transition to voiceover. And a friend of his happened to walk into the coffee shop. Someone that just by sheer chance happened to know of a voiceover training program that's being offered to veterans here in town. And I happen to be a veteran. And then beyond that, I had a family member, a cousin, reach out to me who works with trade shows, Comic-Con type places. And she happens to work with animation, voiceover actors, and gave me a possible opportunity to maybe down the road meet some of these people and see what kind of connections I can make. But none of that would have happened if I didn't set things in motion. None of that would have happened had I not posted the first video and done all of the training and practice, despite the fear. That fear was always there. That fear was there the moment I started thinking about whether I can do this or not. And I'm glad I did, because I'm seeing now that doors are starting to open that were closed before. I spent so much time and effort and so much stress trying to stay in what I've known for so long. And that's natural. Of course it is. It's a comfortable place to be. But nothing was happening, and I couldn't quite figure out why. And now that I'm putting myself out there for this, everything's falling into place. So hopefully that part of the story lends some kind of motivation or inspiration to someone that might be watching this. Whether you're watching it the day I release the video or 2 years from now, and it's just a video collecting dust somewhere in the ether of YouTube. But either way, I really do hope that my story is providing some kind of inspiration for someone. Thank you very much for watching again. I hope you stuck here to the end. I would like to know if there's any part of this that resonated with you in particular. Please leave a comment and tell me what that might be. Or if I mentioned something that you think you might be able to provide some advice on, please leave a comment as well. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the usual YouTube stuff. But thank you very much for watching to this point, and I hope to see you next time. Talk to you soon.